Oh yeah, Black Sun in the hizzle. Oh, the shizzle dizzle. We got an excellent show this evening. Um, we're gonna talk. Now you know today's my health and wellness day, so I'm gonna talk a little bit about nutrition. I'm gonna have y'all go do a tour through my kitchen, my fridge, and see what Black Sun. What does Black Sun eat? Give some pointers on how to substitute your meats, your dairies, and your eggs. Um, I will show you the type of some type of products and that I buy, the type of foods that I buy. I said products, right? Yeah. So we'll be doing that later on, about 5 or 6 p.m. Um, Also, I'm thinking maybe tomorrow we're gonna touch on Zelensky, how Biden is throwing Zelensky under the bus, and how they're writing it in newspapers. So, you know that old saying, if you want to hide something from somebody, put it in a book or I guess newspaper or whatever. But they're definitely not putting it in the media because the ones who don't, well, let's just say there's some people out there that want to do the media do their research for them. Yeah. So y'all stay tuned. Y'all subscribe. If you're not already subscribed, hit the notification button. Now, I have been shadow banned by YouTube because of my political views. So if you're not getting notifications, you're missing, just, I don't know, subscribe. I don't know what to say. I mean, there's bigger YouTubers than me that are not getting notifications. Shout out to Ryback, Vegas and Vegan. Vegan in Vegas. That's Ryback, man. Um, so I don't know what to tell you. Just shadow banned. Burn my stripes on YouTube, man. I've joined the community of the shadow band. So that's what happens when we um, speaking our opinions. I think that the was it 2020 was a sham. So yeah, it was. And they sent me a warning for it. And I know another person who's actually got a strike on their channel. She had actually got a strike on her channel for saying the same thing that I did about the election. So, hey, you two playing those kind of games. But, we could talk about nigga shit on YouTube, go back and forth. But the minute we talk about something that affects us being a sham, oh, here come YouTube. Forget about other people striking your channel. Hey, Free Spirit. Hey, Twin Pyramid. Yanga, what's good, man? So y'all just recapping. Y'all want to join? Oh, here comes. Oh, gotta guess. Bam, bam.
What's up, man?
Yanga, what's good, man?
What's good, brother? What's good? I
Oh
heard
man,
you
you
on here
brother.
cracking. Huh?
You heard me cracking.
Yeah. You
Hey,
like I'm looking forward to that live you're gonna do
yeah,
uh
yeah.
uh when you were saying that they're gonna go on and knock off you believe that the president of Ukraine's days are numbered. That's a big
Pretty much.
allegation. What makes you what give us a little teaser. What makes you even suspect something like that?
Okay, so the Washington and Huntington Post, and what's the other one? The not the Guardian, but it's another paper, and they were just saying like key words like his political career is shot, and
Hmm.
just a lot of little words. And I know it's kind of a Manchurian conspiracy theory, but what I was going to do this evening was going to show you a pattern. I wasn't just going to talk the shit. I was going to show you a pattern where dictators that have worked for the U.S. and if you
Hmm.
work for the U.S. and you fail, that's your ass. That's your ass.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna
Yeah.
show that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't do it from the truck. Can't do it from the truck. But once I get
Right.
home behind the computer, I'll be able to show all the receipts, all the
Yeah.
documentation, brother. Yeah, they
Yeah.
his days are
Well,
numbered.
off the top of my head, I guess I could. I guess you could say Saddam Hussein was similar.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, there you go. See how man, that's why I like
You
having
know.
Yang on the show, man. Because when I have a brain fog, Yang comes right in. Oh, well, what about this? Who did Hussein?
Yeah.
Saddam Hussein. Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Who did Hussein? Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you're
Yeah.
right. An American puppet who he couldn't do anything with the Shah of Iran. He couldn't do anything with Iran.
No.
Turned around and gas his own, allegedly, according to them, gas his own people. Just failed miserably and utterly at the job
Yes.
that they wanted him to do. And we see what happened. You know.
Well, see, that's the thing, man. It's crazy because America wants you to do these impossible jobs, like
Hmm.
Zelensky. Like what? Man, I wish Zelensky could like call into the show, man. I know his days are numbered, but goddamn, it's like these people put a battery in your back to go against
Hmm.
war-tested Russia. Can I say that again, Yanga? They want Ukraine to
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
against war-tested Russia. Like Russia's hot off of fighting with Afghanistan for the last how many years?
Umpteen billion. Right.
Right.
Hmm.
And not to mention before Putin made, Russia made peace with the Muslims, they had the Chechnyan goddamn conflict.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So what the fuck? Like what were the man, dude? Like, but this is what I
I,
heard. I didn't really do no
I
research.
mean,
Oh, go ahead, Yaga.
they tried a madman. They tried a madman. Putin, they tried it. I think they tried an absolute madman. And Putin is that. I knew he was insane when I saw the photograph of him shirtless on a white stallion. You know what I'm saying? That's when he was on his Rambo shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, oh
When
yeah,
this
yeah,
man,
that's right.
he loves the narcissism. If at the risk of saying that, just
Okay.
I'm going to say confidence. The confidence and love he has of himself is very apparent in his propaganda pieces about himself. I've seen him working out with no shirt. I mean, he's
Yeah.
absolutely
Karate, yep.
fascinated with himself. And
Right.
so, like most wars, when you're fighting for something, we've seen the underdog or we've seen the people who we didn't really think would win come out victorious just because of what they're fighting for. I think that Putin had all the incentive and initiative. One, like you talked about on one show, not having NATO that close to his borders or people with any type of armament that close to his borders is just good military
Right.
sense. Secondly,
Right. Right.
when you have right, and secondly, when you're that confident in yourself, when you have um, that much, oomph about yourself, you feel that strongly about yourself. It's a matter of pride and principle.
That's right.
So backed by just good strategic sense, his pride, his principle allowed him to go up there and Zawinski, he wasn't a match for that. All the
Right.
threats in the world, all the promises, it wasn't a match for this insane ego. And Putin he's a madman. And they tried a madman and he called everybody's bluff,
Well, hold on,
you know.
Yanga. I'm not gonna let you bad talk Putin like that, man. And I'm no friend of
You
Putin,
don't think
but
he's a
he
madman?
he tried to make peace talks, Yanga. He
Well,
tried to make peace talks.
Putin's
A
a
madman's not gonna.
madman.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, a man. I don't think a madman is gonna try to make peace. Even, people always paint these narratives and these pictures about these dictators, but even Stalin humbled himself and asked FDR for some help against Hitler. So, we had a conversation earlier about how people are not willing to, we're not going to mention no names, they will go down with the ship. Even even Stalin wasn't
But
willing to go down with the
why
ship.
did Stalin? Right, but why did Stalin go that route? We look at, Stalin went that route because Stalin at one point in time was very fascinated with Mussolini. You
Right.
know, and and not only that, I think not Mussolini. I'm sorry, Stalin and Hitler at one point in time were flirting with one another. They
Right, right,
went they
absolutely.
went conversation. They would talk rights, and being Hitler, being a devil, flipped the script on him. And invaded Russia, began to invade Russia, leaving
Yeah,
Stalin. So
yeah.
even though Stalin was a madman, he was an insane genius. Mad insanity doesn't necessarily always equate stupidity. We have some
Okay, got you,
insane
got
people,
you.
absolutely brilliant.
Okay,
You know what I'm
okay, well
saying?
then, okay,
And I
okay.
think that that's what and that's one of the along those lines I would put Putin in. I'm not a big follower of Putin. I'd have to, look at his politics, look at him a little more closely. Just
Right,
generally, from what I see, I am using that very loosely. I'm
right,
blanketing. I'm
right.
just throwing that on Putin. But I look at
Very good.
also his interference uh, with uh, with the elections in the United States, the gall, the
Whoa,
audacity to
whoa, whoa, whoa,
interfere
whoa.
with a people's
Interfere with the elections.
uh,
Interfere with the elections.
or have I believe Russia. Uh, I believe that. I believe
All
Russia.
right, you know that's been debunked, right? The
Oh,
cables
has
have
it?
not come
I
out.
didn't know
Yo,
that.
yeah, 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 yeah. Hillary Clinton like mushed up that whole thing, man. That's been debunked. I guess I'm gonna have to show that tonight.
Okay.
All right, let me make a note of that. Yeah, that's been debunked. Yeah, the
Okay.
whole
See,
Russia,
I
Russia,
didn't know
Russia.
that.
Yeah. See, that's why I need to get the arena back together. Because even my right hand man is falling for
No.
banana in the tailpipe with the mainstream
Tailpipe.
media.
Hey, man. Hey, I'm gonna have to. We might have to debunk it again. I honest.
Okay.
Just the way Putin was moving. It's just the way Putin was moving. So I don't know. So we got, and I'm sure, like I said, I'm looking at it largely influenced probably by a lot of anti-Russia propaganda. I am over in America, so the information I get, I will say it's going to be biased, it's going to be slanted, it's going to be tainted. But just, however, looking at from what I had, man, yeah, yeah, and
So
I'm sure
you're
he feels like he's doing what's in the best interest of the Russian people.
okay. So you're Yanga. You know I got to put you on the spot, right? So you're willing to
Talk
tell
to him.
me
Say it again.
Hillary Clinton? All right, I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Okay.
So you're willing to tell me that Hillary Clinton was gonna beat Trump, Donald Trump?
I don't know if I couldn't tell you that.
Okay,
I honestly
okay,
couldn't say that. I
okay,
don't know. I honestly couldn't say that. What I can
okay,
say
fair
is
enough.
that Trump's people rolling with Trump were making very suspicious moves in Russia, very suspicious business deals. It's like it's no secret that the Bushes were in bed with the Saudis, even with the Laden family, the
Right,
Osama's
Bin
family.
Laden's.
You know what
Okay,
I'm saying? During and after 911. So I do believe that people in Trump's cabinet was Russian business deals in Russia and shit like that.
okay,
And I do believe
very
that certain promises, and all of this is conspiracy theory, that certain promises probably were made,
well.
along
It's
the
not a
line of these
conspiracy
business
theory.
deals.
There are business deals on both sides. I mean, when you talk about Hunter Biden's laptop. I mean, there was a bunch of business deals not only in Russia but Ukraine also and Taiwan. So, I get what you're saying. I don't put neither side, Democrats or Republicans, when it comes to extended business deals across the seas. I don't deny that, but to say that Russia influenced the election and the outcome, and that's why Hillary Clinton didn't win. No, it's just no. Hillary Clinton had a lot of supporters. Trump had more supporters.
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
go
I
for
think.
that. I, 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 I could quite possibly. I mean, but like I said, it just has to be debunked for me. I believe that
Okay,
there was an attempt. I believe that there was an attempt.
you muted yourself, man. Yeah,
Okay,
low,
sorry about
low.
that. I
Okay, there.
believe it
All right,
was
there.
attempt. Him, you know. But I don't know. I don't know about the debunking. But yeah, I do believe to further business deals or whatever little personal interests that Russia would have had involved or the connection they have with the former president, Mr. Trump.
Hmm.
I think it's all suspicious, but I am out of the loop of that being debunked.
Okay. All right. Well, that'll be
Yeah,
my homework
yeah,
for
that's
tonight,
going.
man.
So it's
I'm
going to
glad
be,
you said that.
yeah,
I'm glad you said that, brother.
that's going to be
Uh,
interesting.
yeah, yeah. That's why we here, man. That's why we there in the arena, man. We gonna goddamn
Yeah,
debunk some stuff. Yeah, because
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
cause,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Because that's going to be interesting.
because the next
Because
narrative. Oh, go ahead.
go ahead. The next narrative. What?
The next narrative they're gonna paint is that Trump started an insurrection January 6th. That's not true.
At the Capitol,
At the Capitol.
he did.
Oh Lord. What did he say specifically, Yanga?
It's not specific.
Oh,
It's
it's not
not
specific.
specific.
Oh, so
It's
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 vague.
it's the HRAP. It's the HRAP Brown law. They got a law in the books called the HRAP Brown law about
Okay.
inciting a riot. HRAP Brown simply said, "America violence is America's apple pie. Burn, baby, burn." They
Okay.
said that
Okay.
constituted enough to incite a riot. I hold
Okay.
Trump to the HRAP Brown law. No, you didn't specifically go out and incite. You didn't give a specific order, rush the Capitol. You incited. You instigated. You incited that type of thing. I think that he has to know his influence. I think you can play Trump. He can play Trump dumb if he wants to. But he knows his influence. He knows that there's keywords that you can say. Yeah, I believe that he should be uh, held culpable as being one of the ringleaders, or at least conspirators or inciters of that insurrection.
Okay.
Yep, yep. Like they tried to do H. Rap Brown. Absolutely. Now let
Oh,
your ass let Farrakhan say
right.
something
Right.
like that. Yeah.
Right. Right. Right.
But then it's tricky. It's tricky. It's a double-edged sword because the same punishment we want meted out, the same standards we want people held to, we have to hold to, and it tiptoes on that Second Amendment, that
Right.
freedom
Right.
of speech.
It does. It does.
But then I think there's laws in that if speech incites or leads to violence and even murder, like, I mean, how many times have we seen that used against us? Somebody tell you, "Hey, man, I know where a lick at," and the people go do, "Oh, I know where a robbery's at," for my my layman who don't talk street talk, and
Right.
the people go out and perform a robbery at someone's suggestion or someone turning them on to the lick we say on the street, someone putting them up on the robbery. They come back and charge that guy as a conspirator,
Right. Right. That's true.
an
You're right.
accomplice.
Right.
It's crazy. So I think they should look into that. But money talk, everything else walk.
Oh, say that again, Yanga.
I said
Say
money
that for the
talks,
black
everything else. Oh, for the black folk,
for the
money
black
talk,
folks.
everything else walk.
For
Money
black
talk,
you
baby.
too. For black, yeah, that's right. For
The
black
Mac
you
said
too.
it best. Yeah, the Mac said it best. He said, "I got 20,000 on it," and I bet, "Nigga, can you buy that? Nigga, can you buy justice?" Yeah.
Wow.
You can't buy
Mm.
justice. Money talk. Justice has a price, and black people can't afford it.
Oh, say that again,
Black people
Yanga.
can't afford America. Black people can't afford American justice unless you like OJ.
Damn.
And I don't think they just OJ made them just raise the bar. When OJ got away with
Right.
that, the price of
Uh-huh.
justice for Black America just went up.
Oh, it went up. Oh, god damn.
Yeah.
God damn, Yanga.
Damn, man, we can't afford it, man. Yeah, justice costs in America. I don't know what anybody thought.
Wow, that's crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that is
So
crazy.
and OJ exposed that. OJ exposed to Black America that with enough money, that justice does has a price, does have a price, and that she peeks under her blindfold. And I think that the powers that be couldn't allow Orthel Jones Simpson to get away with that.
Right,
You know what
right.
I'm saying? So yeah, the price went up then. He used that. He used that damn ticket on us.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
That's interesting. Twin Pyramid said, if anything, Trump proved we need to tighten up. Okay, okay. It's an interesting comment.
What?
Um,
Hold on. Let me put my. You say twin said
oh,
what?
Twin
If
said, if
anything,
anything,
Trump flew, we need to tighten up. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
yeah,
And
yeah,
the need for self determination. Like, I think Trump came out, and if he did anything, he pointed out the that black people weren't a monolithic people. That black people made a
yeah,
very big mistake in just pledging blind allegiance to one political party. Because there
agreed.
were black people who historically and traditionally may have subscribed to the Democratic Party. Really, if they were honest with themselves and really listened to Trump, um, found themselves agreeing with some of the things that Trump was saying.
Right.
And what I found interesting that later during President Trump's presidency, or later on in Mr. Trump's presidency, that more black people, even though they may have been saying it jokingly, I question how joking they were being. Was talking about, oh, I agree with Trump, or Trump says some shit, or Trump turned that money loose. You found the sentiment towards Trump changing. And one of the reasons I believe that happened is, first, we have to understand that Mr. Trump is a fascist. I'm
He's a
sorry.
fascist.
I Yeah, he's a fascist. He is so
Explain that.
pro-American
Okay.
that he was a fat, like, you can have racist fascists, you can have, this is the importance of knowing ideology. Because everybody just wanted to put white supremacy on him. But
Right.
if he had those white supremacist leanings, I don't think he was a radical, hardcore neo-white supremacist. I do believe he's a white supremacist. I believe that all people, through just living in America to a degree, believe in white supremacy because they enjoy the white privilege. They enjoy the
A
privilege of
white
being white. And
a white
uh,
supremacist who allowed that went up because I'm trying to figure out who's the worst white supremacist. The white supremacist who's willing to talk with you before you vote, or the white supremacist that say, vote for me and I'll talk to you later.
yeah, the white supremacist, to me, the white supremacist that feels like they have to enact all white supremacists. But the one that feels like that supremacy has to be, if immediately off the top of my head, I would say the one that feels like supremacy has to be held up by physical, and more times than not, violent physical reinforcement. You know what
Ah,
I'm
you're
saying?
dancing, Yanga.
And
You're
no,
dancing. You're dancing right
what you
now.
mean? What
I
you mean?
said,
Talk to
which
me.
white supremacist is worse? The white supremacists that say, let's sit down, let's negotiate for your vote, or the one that say, vote for me and I'll talk to you later?
Right. I mean, my opinion is that's honest about feelings. I would, you know, I would, but then look who you're talking to. But history has shown us clearly that there's a segment of the black population that would rather, knowing the history of white people, knowing our relation politically, economically, socially, and every other way we coexist in America, still believe that going through the process of voting, going through the process of parlaying with this devil through political jargon or whatever the fuck is better than the outright confrontation, whether that confrontation be verbal or physical.
Yanga, you're
You know,
dancing right now. You're
I mean,
dancing.
that's real shit.
You're dancing right now.
That's real good.
Yanga,
History has shown that. You think
this
Dr.
is
King
why.
didn't know that the white man was the devil?
No, I understand that,
Do
but
you
what
think?
I'm trying to figure out
Okay, and what and what
the
and what
blatant.
route did he opt to deal with him? That's what
Huh?
I'm telling you. We're not. And what route did the civil rights movement opt to deal with the devil? They opted to use the political
Oh,
process. Did they not?
right.
I mean,
Okay, they
I
did.
don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to be the spokesman for. That's what I mean. I think if anything, Trump proved that we're not all monolithic people. I speak for a segment of society or a segment of black people that says, "Hey, yeah, I'd rather have talked to the straightforward racist or the supremacist that I know he's a supremacist. This is that, and that's that." Some of us are black people, or have become sensitive, or just don't want to deal with it on that level. They'd rather have a buffer. And that political system, no matter how flawed I find it, they believe that the political system acts as a buffer between them and this straight racist or this white supremacist. They believe that they can address those issues through this political system. They really believe that.
Okay, I'm gonna have to really make it straight for you. So my buddy Little Weezy gets locked up, and my buddy Kodak Black gets locked up, and he gets bailed out by a friend of mine. Is that friend racist?
When they get what? Say what your little buddy get locked up and what
Okay,
happened?
my little buddy Little Weezy gets locked up, and I got another
Mm-hmm.
buddy named Kodak Black, and they get pardoned. They get bailed out. The guy that bailed them out, is he racist?
No. I don't know.
Oh,
Why
okay.
did he not bail the all of them black, right? All of them black. All these people black, right?
Well, the two guys I mentioned are black. Yeah, yeah. Kodak Black and Little Wayne, they're both black. Yeah.
Okay. And the guy comes and bails one of them out.
But yeah, not only bails them out, but gives them a pardon. So now they can purchase guns again. They're no longer felons because of my buddy. Because of you know,
It,
I'm trying to keep
I,
the street for you.
I mean, it depends. I
It
don't get it.
depends.
Like, yeah, like I don't get it. Like, if you're saying a racist, racists love niggers.
Okay.
Racists love niggers. Niggers are the reason that racism exists. Racists use niggers to justify their thoughts of supremacy. So yeah, they'll bail a nigger out and put a gun in the nigger's hand and drugs in the nigger's hand. It justifies their racism. Look at the nigger. Just got the nigger out of jail, gave the nigger $1,000, went bought guns and drugs. Look at the nigger. Niggers
Okay.
justify racism. So yeah, you can be racist and still work with black folk. You
Okay.
just keep them in their place. They do the job that you want them to do. You never feel like they're on your level, nor you get
Okay.
never give
So
them an opportunity at equity or equality.
okay. So let's just say across the board, I'm gonna just keep it 100 with you, that all the white people are racist, right?
I believe to a degree,
So
yes.
now we live in a
Hell
world
yeah.
where every white person's racist.
Yeah.
So now do we? Okay, okay. So at this point, because we don't care for the love of the cracker, this and that, blah blah blah. So my thing is, if one cracker is doing a good gesture and the other one's not, who's making more of the effort there?
Yeah, the one that's trying to do the one that's trying to do the good thing, air quoting. The one that's trying to
Okay,
do the good thing.
okay. So one's just trying to do the good thing. Okay, okay, okay. So I'm speaking on a
But
gesture that really happened,
that would be perspective. That's a perspective though.
and that's cool.
That's a
That's cool.
perspective.
Okay,
So I mean,
right.
not everybody
Okay.
said it was a good thing. I'm reminded of that movie. What is it? Freedom Writers, where the
Okay.
white woman came into the inner city school and taught all the nigglets how to read and write poems
Yeah.
and shit.
Right.
Some people, very liberal white people, say, well, that's a good thing, this and that. Some of us say that that's just another way of this great white hope mentality, this white messiah mentality, another thing of showing that black people are incapable of achieving certain heights and this and that. And they always make movies about these benevolent white people, the blind side. Some big black Negro that couldn't do this and they got him a football. I
Okay.
mean,
You're making a
so
good
it's
point
all,
there,
but to
Yanga.
white people, they feel like, yeah,
So you said incapable. So one
that's
cracker says you
the, go ahead.
okay. So one cracker is wanting to sit down. He wants something from you, right? Obviously, whatever it is, he wants something from you. He's willing to sit down
Right.
with you and have this dialogue.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just okay. The other cracker says, you know what? We're not gonna talk about it. You just give me what I want, and I'll give you what you want later.
Yeah. That's why I say both of them are devils. I mean, you got one that's saying, sit down with me, talk to me now, let me hear what you're talking about.
Okay.
And some people, son, are
So
not
would you
ready
say
to sit with the devil. Some
no?
people are
That's
not
fine.
ready to
But what?
confront the
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
good.
I get that. You got different amalgamations of
Right.
black people. I get that. So I'm just asking as a gesture, which is the better gesture? What is the better sign of respect? What is the
I
better
I
sign?
prefer right. I prefer you sitting with me. I think it's very
Oh,
respectful that you sit
okay.
with a person and that
Yes.
you say, but there again, son, you know me, perspective.
Okay.
Perspective. Some Donald Trump might ask to sit with somebody. Somebody might say, "This motherfucker want to sit with me." I got people now that I will never sit in their presence ever again. I will
I
never
got
sit
you.
in their presence, and to
Oh,
ask
we
to sit
there.
with me.
We there
You
then.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I get that.
So
I
some
think
people
all
may
black on
take
YouTube knows what you're saying.
right. So
Oh, but we gotta go there.
black people, um, some black people feel like that about the Trump administration. They may
Okay.
say, you know what, I will never, I don't care if he wants to sit with me or I will never, they wouldn't take it as a sign of respect. It just depends what what level we at. And these are just real discussions we have to have. I think, me personally, I think we're right now, and I haven't. It's been a minute since I've been getting into everything, so I'm speaking very. This is why I'm having a lot of stuttering in my speech. I'm trying to be very careful about the words I say because I haven't really been up to speed like I'd like to be.
Okay.
However, I still stand on the position that black people right now can't afford to be deaf eared to anything.
No,
You
I agree
know,
with you on that.
um,
I agree.
right now we can't afford to be
Just
like
like,
I
just
don't care what you
like,
saying.
just like, right. It's funny because I ran back a show. I don't know if you saw it, but I ran back a debate, and Twin and all them in the chat, they were like, damn, I never know that before. I showed them a debate between Trump and Biden, and Biden was basically outright saying he's going to raise the gas prices. Some years later, gas prices rose, and black people are out here booing. Oh my gosh! And it's like they look at me like you're not surprised. You're not. I said I've been. Biden said he's going to raise gas prices. What's the problem? What's the problem? And when Biden said that, Trump face just got pale. Like, oh shit, we're in for it. And I played it.
Yeah,
I played it on this show. Is that right, Twin Pyramid? Is that not right, Free Spirit? Who else is in here? They seen it. They'll
yeah.
tell you. Yeah.
I mean,
So
it's a
so I understand about the black people who will never do this, never do that. Because there's a lot of black people who don't that I don't know. You know what? I don't want to say it don't affect them because these highest gas prices affect everybody, including the goddamn high grocery bills, the crew. I mean, goddamn. I mean, it. We've always shown it on the arena. You may not be involved in politics, but politics is involved with you. And so, knowing that, I listened to the presidential debate. It was not just it was affecting black people. We're talking about affecting the whole world, Yanga. These
hmm
highest gas prices are
hmm
whooping our ass.
hmm
How much you do traveling? You do traveling. You do a lot of traveling, Yanga.
hmm
Have you noticed the
hmm
spike in the prices of traveling? The
absolutely,
spike.
absolutely,
Oh, okay, okay.
absolutely. Everything is inflated. Everything is
Right,
inflated. Um,
right.
um, but there you go. While everything is inflated too, we have to look at, and this is why I'm a big advocate. Like, I'm not a reformist, but the way things are going, I don't know, man. I may start getting a lot heavier into reform policies and politics, man. I push this revolutionary thing, and I've been disappointed, starting with myself. My mouth is closer to my ears, of course. But I've been disappointed with the revolutionary movement. Us, as far as informing our people, teaching our people revolution, and manifesting that into some real revolutionary action, even if it's on the smallest scale. I've seen it turn very Jerry Springerish and just gimmicky. So
Right,
with
right.
that being said, though, what I tell my people, especially radical reformists and those people that are involved, that independence, looking politically, when we start looking politically, talking about Biden or Trump, we have to look at these people objectively. You know what I'm saying? Not objectively, I'm sorry. We are one
Okay.
objectively, just who they are, what they are, removed from the emotionalism. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? And looking at it from a human perspective, as far as
Okay.
what's good for the world, what's good for, and when I say what's good for America, meaning what's good for the policies of America. One of the things too, and I'm gonna try not to digress too far. As Black
Go ahead,
Africans
brother.
here in America, we must make. I don't like keep saying what we must do. I strongly suggest that we make a international mark. We haven't made an international mark. The international mark we have are as consumers. I mean, people, we're influencers. We influence the world. You know what I'm saying? Everybody dig our style, but we don't even capitalize, again, air quotes, we don't even capitalize or reap the reward for our creativity, our ingenuity, our artistry, the mastery of just what we do, because we haven't stamped ourselves as an identity. And I'm not talking about the silly semantics we argue over about what we call ourselves, but an identity translated in real economic political movement. We know what the fuck is in the best interest of us as a people. We know, despite what we call ourselves, that we are being targeted. I think the scheme and Domo debate, if nothing came out of it,
Let's talk
tons of
about it.
information came out of
Let's talk about it. Let's really, really, because I was holding back yesterday. I'm not gonna lie. I was holding back on a lot of shit yesterday out of respect for you and your show. But let's talk about it. Let's really talk about it. Let's really, really, really talk about it. This is the arena.
it.
Let's
Uh,
talk about it.
okay.
And I don't know. If,
Okay.
let's talk about it. Okay. You
I mean,
know.
we can discuss. Go ahead. I'm
Okay.
listening.
Okay. Now you made a statement yesterday saying David and Goliath, and I agree with that. But why is
Uh,
it a David and Goliath? Because black people like niggas to, talk real fancy and, baby, yeah, and say a lot of words and, and when you get somebody like Scheme come along, oh, well, we're razzled and dazzled by the speech, the song and dance, and the cha-cha-cha. And a lot of people got fooled
mhm.
by that word salad. And I called it out. But except the judges got impatient with that bullshit. Oh, I'm keeping
You
it real,
what?
Yanga. I said
Oh, hold on, man. Hold on.
they were impatient.
I heard that.
Okay, okay. They were impatient. Okay. So blacks learn a lot from the both of they. We done woke up Eric. Oh, no, we done woke up Free Spirit, bro. Shout out to you, Free Spirit. Hey, I see we done woke you up, sister. We done woke the sister up.
Okay, got you.
Oh, Free Spirit. The link is up here if you want to join, because I know you got something to say, sister. I know you got something to say. I hate to put you on the spot like that, but I know you got something to say. Shout out to Free Spirit. Hit that link, sister. Um, let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it, man. Well,
Yeah, yeah.
let's talk
I,
about
I,
the performance, how black people want to be
yeah.
entertained. They really don't care about the information. They really don't care. They want to be talked to
Mm,
nice and razzled and
mm,
dazzled.
mm, mm. Mm. Now I'm. You know what though?
What's up?
I'm gonna tell you why I said David and Goliath.
Okay.
Because shit. Let's keep it real. It's Domo. I mean, we can't shit on his performance. We can't shit on who he is as
I'm
a
glad you
debater.
said performance. I'm glad you said that.
I mean, isn't it all
Performance.
though? Isn't it all?
No,
Isn't it all?
no.
Scheme
Scheme had
had a performance.
Scheme was
Scheme
just
you had to
being Scheme.
nah, you had to catch the slickness of Scheme. Scheme had a performance. Scheme shot his little shot. Scheme told him when it was over with. Scheme said, "Wow, brother, should I pass the collection plate now?" So that's
But that's his impatience, Yanga. That was his impatience. That Scheme
okay.
represented everybody's impatience. The judge was impatient. I was impatient. I had talked to Swab yesterday. You know, me and Swab were playing volleyball yesterday. He was impatient.
Uh
But
huh.
he tried to pass the buck to me. Oh, Black son, you impatient. He projected it to me. You know me, I don't give a fuck. Shit.
Right, right.
Yeah, I
I
ain't got to
think
be all
that that
political
went
today.
into. I think that that went into what was Scheme's strong point. I know when I go into debate and Scheme, I'm gonna look for that. Scheme's a listener.
Yes,
What I
sir.
felt like one of Scheme's strong points was he just, I think Domo's accustomed to someone shooting back rapidly, and Domo having to be quick on the draw, quick witted, to be able to come back and respond and have an answer very, just rapid. And Scheme listens. And sometimes in that rapidness, when you're not going back and forth with someone, when you're doing all the talking, it it's when you're doing all the talking, it affords people an opportunity to listen.
Right.
And I think that that's what end up, in my opinion, that's what I saw. And Scheme is anime. When you talk about style and shit, he doesn't have a performance. I think the smiles, I think the little snickering, I think I think all of that's a performance because he draws your attention to some bullshit that just been said. When Domo
Right.
say something that may not sit right, Scheme hit a little smile. Mm, you know, and then he has a way of right, right,
Yeah,
and
he
then he
did.
has a
Yes,
way
you're
of
right.
coming back to it. And he said, "I know I didn't just hear you say." So he was very good at bringing emphasis to
Right.
certain things. And just one of the killers was when he hit with that that your source thing,
Uh huh.
and my man came a little, when he came a little rattled at that point. I feel what he's saying. I feel what he's saying. If it makes him feel better to know we're not at collegial understanding of the debate and this and that, and do the technicalities, I could, okay. I have to
But
concede to that argument. I don't know. But when you talk
I'm not
about
gonna
just
concede to that.
bringing
I'm
a
not
point,
conceding to that.
well,
Yeah.
listen, I don't know about collegial debating. I do know
All I
about
know,
some
you got to
cats
convince
rapping.
those
I know,
judges, right? You got to convince those judges, and you got to convince us. It ain't got nothing to do with the white man and how many
there you go.
doctoral
There you
degrees
go.
or master degrees or bachelor
Yeah.
degrees, MMAs.
And
It's about convincing those judges. And if you get on their fucking
judges,
nerves, they're gonna
yeah,
body bag
yeah,
your ass, and that's
yeah,
what happened.
yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
I can even
Since y'all
even
have
I'm gonna just
explained to me,
oh okay. Go ahead, Yang. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, I said since y'all have explained to me the meaning of body bag, I thought that was just so damn harsh. But
Well, he
I
didn't get a
see that
he didn't get
that
a single judge. Which judge voted for him, Yanger?
well, you're right.
That's a body
You're
bag.
right.
That's a body bag. And even Swab said it. He's like one judge, one judge, one judge. One, two, three. He got zero. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
see, you're talking
yeah,
about the pre-playoffs. You're talking about the normal season. That's when you get all the
yeah,
points. You know, the 335s, the
yeah,
145s. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
To make it to the playoffs. Once you make it to the playoffs, it's either goddamn win or go home. That's it.
Right.
And Scheme sent his ass home. I did not know, and I told Scheme, and Scheme said it on your show. I said, Scheme, you're going to take somebody's head off. I don't know when or who it's going to happen, and I'd be damned if it happened. And Scheme even admitted that. Damn.
Take it.
Free Spirit, send a message to Scheme and sending a message to I want to have some people on the show, man. Blue, whoever you know, have them come on, man, because man, we gotta have this real discussion here, man, because I don't like the narrative. I don't like how people are going around making it sound like a fluke. It was not a fluke. It was a straight up win.
Yeah, I mean, he won.
And
but you gotta know huh?
Go ahead, Yanga. Go ahead.
But you got to, I mean, like you said, he won. It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's a tough loss. He won. I don't think anyone's trying to take his shine. I hope anyone isn't. I know it's
a lot of people trying to take his shine, bro.
It's tough to the motherfucker. It is what it is. But it's not like, it ain't like, look, it's not like Domo didn't try to deliver them.
Man, Domo slipped. He was slipping.
I don't think Scheme's victory is tarnished by saying that, Domo put up a good effort. I think that this is why I said it's a mighty tumble when Titans fall. I think people was waiting for Domo. They were waiting for the day. They were waiting for the motherfucking day. And why I say David and Goliath, I thought maybe I'll be a little arrogant. I think I've even heard it whispered. People thought Domo and I would be that, those two Titans rumbling, that clash of the Titans. And here you got a rookie coming up. Let's keep it 21. You said we're keeping it real. Shit, let's keep it 21.
Let's do it.
He isn't as articulate as Domo. He isn't as seasoned as Domo. Meaning experience-wise, he just I would have thought, yeah, that's gonna be like, I didn't expect Domo to roast Scheme. I just didn't think Scheme would beat Domo. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I said they, and I have put out the warning.
Everybody came in there with a preconceived bias, preconceived notion, except for me, except for Lex. But everybody.
I'm not gonna say everybody. No. I'm not gonna put it on it. I don't know. I can say what I came.
Okay, no problem. Fair enough.
I got the news. Yeah, I can only speak for myself. When I got the news, I was like, what? Because I knew Scheme was on his way. I didn't know he had arrived. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what? And so I had to go back and watch it. And true to form, my man, just the young God did his thing. The young God put off a mighty victory. We were talking about that MVP thing. I don't know, if I had a vote, but it's not up to us. It's how the commissioners do. Yeah.
But that's the second MVP that Scheme has beaten, right?
What's the first one?
Suave. He beat Suave.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm talking about as far as like the rookie of the year. I know as far as underground, as far as I'm concerned, man, and it's no disrespect, not belittling anyone's efforts as far as rookies, man. Big shout out to Holly Darkshire, which seems to have an awesome fucking camp. They kicking out champions and shit. That's what's up.
Apologies. Hold on. Shout out to Holly. She had it until Scheme pulled that upset. He pulled the greatest.
I don't think I made an apology. I
No,
don't
no,
think I
not
made an
you, not
apology.
you,
I
not
said
you,
no
not you,
disrespect.
not
Oh
you,
yeah.
not you, not you. I'm just saying, but people, they're just tiptoeing. I guess because they don't want to upset Domo. They tiptoeing. Man, no, and I'm not going to tiptoe around Domo or Holly.
What do you mean
Scheme
tiptoe?
is meaning like okay. Last night I was on your panel, and they were like, oh well, maybe we were talking to Angel, and maybe we should split the rookie of the year. Like what? Scheme just
Oh,
pulled off something that is
it
amazing,
did.
and you want to
It
split
did.
it with
It
Holly? I
did.
don't think so, dude. Holly was mediocre at best. Let me keep it real. Holly was mediocre at best. She was okay. She
That's
was
why.
good. Okay, and
But that's
but
why
she
I
didn't
say
do
that's
anything.
why you look at right. That's why I say, look, that's a burden. Praise the creator, man. I give thanks. I know you're an atheist, but I gotta give thanks that I'm not burdened with that weight. That's gonna be something that they have to wrestle out and shit like that. Now, if you ask me about just what I call the underground awards,
Uh huh.
you know, it has to for rookie of the year, it has to go to Ski.
It has to go.
For
It
me,
has to.
just because, yeah, just because of his feet. So I mean, he gets my straight Zylute. That's who get my Saluna. And that's why I said, and that's no disrespect to the run the sister had. I think the sister had a good run. I believe that you can enjoy your victory, you can enjoy your triumphs, and you don't have to, you don't have to diminish anyone's effort. She had a great run. It's going to be interesting to see how the league addresses that issue. Like I said, man, thank God, man. Thank God. Alhamdulillah. Real talk. That uh because
And then
that's
I was
that's a tough
upset
one. But
because
when you no, I'm gonna say this, but when you in a league of motherfucking champions, that type of shit's gonna come up. Real shit. That type those are good problems.
man,
You know what I'm saying? Who's the fucking MVP rookie? That's a good problem.
ah, no, it's not.
That's a
It's
good
not.
that
That's
mean
not
everybody
cool.
kicking ass,
That's
my guy.
not cool. That's I get it.
I
I
mean,
get it.
we
But
gotta
he did a.
we gotta it
We're diminishing when we do that. We're diminishing Scheme's victory when we do that. No, bro. I don't
I
think
don't
there should
know.
be. Okay, Yanga. School me, baby. Go
I don't
talk to me. Talk to me.
I don't know about diminishing his I mean, you can't diminish that. You can't. It's impossible to diminish that. That's going to go down, regardless of who
Right.
acknowledges it or not. You know what I'm saying? Whatever side people take, that happened. That was a thing. That really went
Right.
down.
Right.
First thing, man, is that first thing that I think we have to apply to any situation is what's called sabr, what's called patience. We have to be patient. We have to see what's going on. That victory happened. That whole affair happened. It turned some shit upside down. It shook. Uh, I'm sure not just the only league, but these outsiders probably have something to say about it. My heart goes out to the way that you can see how hard Domo's going in. That had ramifications
Yeah, he
like
came on
throwing
your
a rock
show.
in a
Yeah. He came on your
yeah,
show and
like
said,
throwing
I apologize to Scheme. I still not gonna congratulate him. What's the point? Oh my gosh, really? That was really
I
childish,
mean,
Domo, man. That was childish.
I
Come on,
mean,
dude.
yeah,
Come on, you win
yeah,
some, you lose some.
yeah,
Some of my three
yeah.
greatest debates I lost. Shout out
Yeah.
to Rio, shout out to Blue, shout out to Inyame. Inyame
Man,
goddamn
it's
tore
tough.
me up. But I
Look,
had man, that was
it's
the most
but
fun I
see,
had.
I understand that, but it's tough. Not saying that I had the renown as Domo. Not saying that people look to me like they was, look to a Domo. Because I seen when Domo step in the room, man, motherfuckers, they gonna bow down. He had established himself. So I'm not saying I had that renown. I'm not saying that you did, you had that renown. What I'm saying is we can at least empathize. It's tough when you take that L like that, when you have so much riding on you, so many expectations. Like everybody, I'm just a champion. So I know when I've taken a loss. It still was tough to lose the KOT. I didn't go bake a cake and shit. I had my son sitting right there with me, man. You know what I'm saying? And I had
Right,
to tell
right.
him,
That's
damn,
true. That's
dad
true.
didn't bring his best. this is the shit what happens when you don't bring your best, when you get
right,
cocky, when you overestimate, and and I point out where his dad went wrong,
right,
and when your opponent is serious. I said, look, son, he got videos and it's funny. And I said, so he was on his A game.
right,
See, I believe in learning the lessons, the
right,
full lessons. Here's, some advice and some
right,
dear advice from Big Unc to my guy Domo. I'm an old head, man. So this is
right,
constructive criticism. When you learn to embrace the loss and acknowledge and applaud the effort of the victor, you get double the reward and double the lesson. Now you know not to play with these young boys. Now
right,
you know you can't play with these boys. When I see KOT again, when I go against Scheme, I'm going at them like they owe me money.
right.
They are not
Thank
here
you.
to play.
No.
And but if you don't never acknowledge the hard earned, hard fought victory of your opponent, then I don't think we ever really learned the lesson of growth and the lesson of that deficiency in us that said, hey, you know what? I didn't bring my best game, or, whatever. Maybe I need to do less of this, maybe a little more of that, and go back and learn from that law. L don't mean lose, it means learn. So
Right, right,
I ain't
right,
gonna get
right.
preachy with it, but that's just, a little lesson from Big Unc to my guy. Shit, Scheme knew who he was debating. I don't
That's
think
right.
Domo quite fully grasped
Ah, I like that, Yanga. I like that.
whom he.
Hello, hello.
Yeah,
Yo, you're breaking
can you
up
hear
there.
me?
What'd you say again? Yeah, 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 I can hear you now. Are you traveling, Yanga?
Nah, I'm stationary now. I
Oh,
got to
okay, yeah.
move.
Stay
Can you hear me
still.
a little
Stay
better?
still. Yeah, I hear you better. Stay
Okay.
still. Okay.
So yeah, I think that's what we were, looking at. And then of course, like we say, all of these are opinions. But just from my observations, man, that's how it was going down. So shit.
Right,
There's no point being bitter about this shit. It
right,
happened,
right,
you
right,
know.
right.
So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because and I think it's, I mean, I know you don't watch battle rap, but any given day, it could be a winner or loser. And that's what debating is turning into now. And it's basically, I think, again, I'm going to emphasize this and I'm going to stress it. And I don't care who likes it, who don't like it. The judges got impatient with all that word salad that he does. Now,
Yeah, especially if you're doing it by yourself. Like I
uh,
said, man, and I'm gonna be quiet. To point the emphasis on Skin, he didn't do a lot of talking. He let Domo. Usually, it doesn't sound that long-winded because someone's going back and forth with Domo. So it isn't long-winded. I think Domo jumped on the defensive, and he's very rapid in his answering, and answering rapidly to a listener can sometimes be your demise.
okay,
you know and I think that's what he did. He answered a lot of shit rapidly, and it went back to Scheme's points
right.
that
Yeah, yeah. A lot of that stuff reinforced Scheme's position. A lot of it. And that's why I was like, and I didn't want to get into it with Domo, but he was saying, and I know people say, oh, well, the person, what they say, the affirmative and the negative, the affirmative have certain privileges. I don't give a fuck about all that. I don't give a fuck about all the technology. You got to still realize we're human and the judges are human. And the judges have so much patience, and so do I, so do you, Yanga, so does goddamn Solar Scheme, everybody, Free Spirit and the thing. There's only but so much patience. So much patience.
I
And
yeah, I believe. My thing is, though, I believe in equal criticism. See, I get tickled because nobody criticizes when they win. Nobody say, well, like they say, okay, you got the victory. And then he say, okay, thank you for the win, but did you understand the concept of debating? I was arguing the da da da. We don't do nothing. We gloat. We take the accolades, the pat on the back, the rose parade, and everything like that. When we
Right.
lose, though, when we lose, it's every reason. That's why I say, man, shouts out to the fucking judges. That has to be
Right.
tough to take that, like your intellect gets called into question every fucking debate. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm
Right.
like, yeah, that's crazy, man. I love it though. I love it, man. Shouts out to everybody that participates and makes this thing work.
Right, but see, I'm gonna tell you what Domo counts on. Domo counts on. Well, I've been to school and I graduated, and so, and I think that he feels like, okay, I'm going to go to everybody's debate thing. Free Spirit said, judging is not an easy feat. Free Spirit, please join, grace us with your presence, please. The link is right at the top. I know you might be working, but we just need that feminine energy. Please, 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 pretty please, join us, join us. But anywho, um, I'm gonna say this. I think that Domo was too relaxed. He was counting on, oh, well, you peasants don't know any better. I am the pristine graduate of debating. Like, okay, but still at the end of the day, you gotta convince us. And there's gonna be people like me, people like Scheme, and the judges. Shout out to the judges that are only gonna take so much of that. You can talk about the technicalities, the this and that, but at the end of the day, you still gotta convince human beings. And
Well,
he didn't do it.
I think now that I will agree. The last part I will agree with.
Okay, what part you don't agree with?
I
What
well,
part you don't agree with?
the part when you say, attitude or air, swagger, style, whatever you call it. I think judges have to be impartial. You may not like his air. You may not like, how he carries himself or how he presents his information. However,
Oh no,
if
no, Yanga, no, 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 no. What I'm saying, if you say a lot of words and the words are really not going nowhere, but the flowers that are blue, and but they're the yellow, but then they're the green,
yeah,
but they go
yeah,
after earth. But then if you sit doing a lot of that shit, what
yeah,
I'm
it'll
saying,
get you
people
in
get
trouble.
impatient.
Yeah, it'll get you in trouble. I think that what
And
end up
see,
happening.
right. And see, Domo, he gets in the rhythm and say, no, no, don't cut me off, Yanga, because, no, 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 see, I'm in the rhythm, see, because when the reels roll in the wind, and then in the wind, it goes in the sea, and the sea, when the oceans, and then the fish, and then the fish, and the other, that's what Domo does, man. At least that's how it sounds to me. And it seemed like my interpretation, when Scheme kept laughing, it's like, what is he talking about? He had that look.
Yeah,
I could
yeah,
be
yeah,
wrong, but he kept
yeah,
giggling like that's why I wish I
yeah,
had Scheme on here because he was
yeah,
like, "What the what?"
yeah.
He kept making these faces like,
I,
"What?"
yeah. I, like I felt where he was trying to go. What Domo was saying, I felt like where he was trying to go. But like we say, if you have to explain your point after the debate, then
Right,
debate, that 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 speaks for itself. That means that the point was failed to be made during debate. And at the end of the debate, that is all that matters. I don't think a lot of people outside of, I haven't heard a lot of backlash, but then I'm not on YouTube like that. Uh,
right,
outside of the outcome. I will
right,
say I still stick by if we just keeping it real. I do think that there's a little more jubilee in the air than usual for the defeat of a debater. I think that a lot of people were waiting for this moment in Domo's career. And the fact that a rookie delivered it, the fact that it was Scheme, I think that it was ironic. The fact that Scheme's cadence, like you call it, is a Napoleon Dynamite, but that his cadence is, is slower. His pace is a little slower. It's, he has this listening, calculated type of style, as
right,
opposed to someone who is very rapid fire, who is articulate, who
There you go.
is quick at the hip, and usually, yeah. And so I think, like, I gave him up the opening, the premise and stuff, all the presentation, man. To me, hands, he was articulate, it was easy to follow, it was large. And then Scheme came on. Scheme just, he had so much, and it was like, and then he's so laid back. He Snoop Dogg on it. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I'm
Okay.
talking about red
Yeah, you're
line.
breaking up again.
I'm talking
You're
about
right. Right.
system. So it's like, I'm reading this thing, but the brother, the smoothness paid off in when in the interrogation, the rebuttal and shit like that. You see the smoothness paid off. This
Right.
allowed us time to process what he was saying and hear a lot of what Domo was saying. And I think hearing a lot of what Domo was saying was just really, to me, lending credence to what my man was saying, that if we got in this condition from this, and you're saying that, then yeah, we might want to address that. But I get what he's saying, because I actually agree with Domo. I
Right.
actually agree with Domo. I think you have to concentrate on us first. I think we absolutely have to. I think in concentrating on us, we inadvertently begin to address systemic racism, because when we concentrate on us, you know, then the loopholes and the deficiencies, the things that go when you concentrate on, like Domo was pointing out, this mental illness.
Wait, but
Concentrate
Yanga,
on
you
why.
said. Wait a minute. I gotta ask you. You said
I was.
yesterday that Domo had an uphill battle.
I said they what?
You said yesterday that based on the topic, Domo had an uphill battle. That's what you said yesterday.
Yeah, yeah. It was an uphill battle, because that's a staunch. Whether Domo knows it or not, that's some staunch nationalist shit. Fuck everything else. Concentrate on us. He don't even know he's screaming some staunch nationalist shit. I'd have shit threw a beret on his ass. Yeah, during that debate. I wish he'd let me fuck with it.
Right, right.
I know where he wants to go. Yeah, it's an uphill battle. That is, like you said. Let me tell you something. They will spin it like we are the people that don't want to face racism and this and that because we concentrating on us. These are people. You have to look at the people that keep telling us not to look at us, not to address black on black violence, not to
Right,
address which is directly related to crime in our community, which
right.
begins to be related to economic opportunities and shit like that. So it inadvertently begins to address these things. I see where Domo was going. He was facing an uphill battle to not only educate the people on what he was trying to say, but win them over to this view. Nobody
Right.
likes to address their fucking self. It's easier
Right.
to
Well,
blame the goddamn white man. It's easier to blame that cracker.
right. Yeah, no. Now, this is what Free Spirit said. Free Spirit said, I think both Scheme
Uh,
and Domo were correct. I could argue both sides, but ultimately, you have to attack that which is making you sick before curing the sickness. So I'm gonna leave that posted. What do you think about that, Yanga? I mean,
oh, I can agree. I think all of them, but I think they do it simultaneously. I think they one. You
okay,
break the fever. If somebody has pneumonia, has the flu or something, they have a fever, you put them in the tub of ice water. You begin to address that fever. What is immediate? That was the argument. What is the priority? What do we prioritize? And
right.
I feel like that attacking systemic racism or structural violence, not as a collective. I'm not like Domo said. He's not saying don't attack it. It's more effective to attack it as a collective when you can address the things that causes us division. Violence damn sure being wanted, whether it's domestic violence, woman against husband, husband against his wife,
Right.
parents against children, children against parents, LD, black on black, any black on. When you say violent, let's look up the word what violence is.
Right.
And yeah, we'll say black. So those things that we, the revolutionary, what the revolutionary looks at is objective and subjective forces and conditions. So, you know, we can look at systemic racism and all that is subjective to it, but it's objective forces. It's out, it's shit right now that is outside of our control. We don't control that shit. But the subjective thing, things we can't control, certain exploitation and crimes in our communities, we can address that. We can address
Right.
black on black by politicizing gangbangers. They're right there in our fucking community. We can spend these resources and wealth on these so-called movements and groups that address defund the policing and really give to more reformist motherfucking measures that after tax and this and that go back in their hands, or we find out it's already in the hands of bourgeoisie, amalgamated, assimilated motherfuckers. Look at Black Lives Matter and the scrutiny they come over from disproportionate funds and shit like that. So what I'm
Right.
saying is these funds that the state have
Right.
should go to the people, to these communities, but these communities have to be empowered to receive these funds, be able to represent themselves,
But
and
okay,
have
okay.
programs and plans for where these funds
You're
go to.
talking about the system again. See, it all keeps going back to the system because we've been talking about this kind of stuff for years, Yanga, and we
Yeah,
always
well,
somehow come back to the system.
it
We
goes to the, it
rarely.
goes to the it
Okay, go
goes
ahead.
to
Go
the
ahead.
system. I'm sorry, but let me
Okay.
say it goes to the system because we're not addressing why the system isn't releasing it to us. Like
Right.
when we yell defund the police, they say, well, look at crime. When we address the crime in our community, when we address all of that shit in our community, then you go to the system. We're a unified community representing ourselves and say, we don't need this police in our community. We don't need them motherfuckers coming in dressed. They don't need a tank to ride down our street. We got ourselves. We represent ourselves. So this defunding, this extra money, this taxpayer money that I'm paying, you're paying for motherfucking
Right.
crackers to roll up in my community and kick me in my fucking ass, or for me to
Uh
damn
huh.
near shit my pants when I'm pulled over. You know what I'm saying? No longer there's no need for this to tie black pride by using that because we've addressed that. Or and if
Right.
even if we haven't healed it or cured it, we're making such a dent in it. Even the system, the state, these liberal crackers or quasi Negroes who didn't believe in our program
Right.
will exploit us. And to say, see, you know, this is what happens. But it starts with us. And so I get what where he was, I don't feel like we work collectively enough. How are we gonna, I get where he was going. It was just an uphill battle to teach that and then win people over. Like,
Right. Right. Right.
you
And there's
know,
only so much, and that's what I was trying to tell Lance. And I think,
mm-hmm.
see, again, Domo, the Lances, all of them, they represent an old school way of trying to razzle and dazzle black people. I think we spend too much time trying to razzle and dazzle because that's what, uh, again, Lance, I bet Lance has a nice book collection, a very nice
Yeah.
library. But I was telling Lance, bro, if you don't ask for more time and you're trying to crumble it up in just 10 minutes, bro, you're going to lose a lot of us. Because you're talking about black people during the time of this and the 13 colonies. You're saying a lot.
The
And
simpler, the better.
right, right.
Yep. The simpler, the damn better. It's, and that's what it's all about. That's what disseminating
Absolutely.
information is all about anyway. That's why, the most effective propagandists will tell you. Um, about leaflets and pamphlets, the less said, the more you can contain in the less said, if you can put it in a little pamphlet, that's cool. If you can put it on a piece of paper, that's even better. If you can put it on a piece of paper with a picture and few words, that's the best.
And that's what
So
Scheme did.
and that's what he did.
Yeah, that's what
That's why I
Scheme
say his
did.
presentation to me sucked because it was too much. But when he presented it himself, that's what he did. It was very simple. It
Right.
was easy to follow. He made a point and he stuck to it. Like, yo, there's no getting around that you have to address these institutions. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? And he was
Yep.
absolutely right. The emphasis, I guess, then goes on to keep reiterating, like Domo was saying, the debate is what do we prioritize? All right. We need,
Okay.
I didn't get why he felt like we needed, but I came away very enlightened and informed, educated
Right.
about black on black violence, the fact that it is a mental health issue, the
Right.
fact that we transplant, even if at this point, like you said, even if we had institutions or if we had economic equity, and even so-called social equity to it, that we still would display violent behavior. So
Right.
he's
Right.
saying addressing that first is imperative. I got that. I think that should have been honed on a little bit. Like I said, it was an uphill battle because you rub sensitivities. You
Right.
rub
Right.
sensitivity. I didn't like when I didn't like that particular brother had what I was saying. I'm sorry if you get that. And I have to send a shout out to him. If I misinterpreted, I apologize. Nobody wants to be labeled with that fucking shit. That's saying that we are preconditioned to be violent. So,
Right. Right.
I'm
Right.
definitely
Exactly.
not
Yeah.
saddling him with that.
Yeah. Me
But
either. Yeah. I don't know.
yeah, but to say, it was just an uphill battle, very sensitive subject. And like you said, man, time wise, the subject, and he just did. When it's all said and done, good try, brother. It just didn't hit the mark. It
Right.
just
Right.
didn't hit
Right.
the mark.
Right.
We can analyze, we can break that shit down to the cows come home.
That's you're right. That's true. That's true.
It
That's
just
true.
nobody got it. And apparently, and the people, I'm gonna share. Uh,
So basically, time wasn't on the side.
that it was too much. It almost reminded me of me and KOT's debate, equity versus equality.
Yee. Yee. Ooh, that one's
It
that's a tougher one. You and
it has
KOT's
some
debate was a
resemblance. It's
tougher
like
one
I
for me.
wanted to go to people who know could get it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I have people who it just a lot of the wins should have been in my way. I felt like they should have. I almost felt like I had that. Come on, Dr. King and the Black Panthers. So I wasn't as
Right. Right. Right.
prepared at right, and it smelled a lot of that. Domo had a good point, a good solid argument. He just failed to make it. The argument didn't stick in the areas it should have stuck, and the scheme was
Do you think
brilliant
that Domo?
and pointing out the contradictions and just some of the mockeries and just making it really to where, like you said, it just looked like a awful lot of nothing.
Right. 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 Word salad. Yeah. Now let me ask you this question because you have said in your debate, Yanga, that you felt like you underprepared. Correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
So do you feel the same way that about Domo? You think he underprepared for scheme?
I
Because it
don't.
didn't
You know
sound
what?
like. Okay.
That's a question only. I think that only Domo. I wouldn't be so presumptuous. It really is a. I think that is a valid question. I do. One of the things I did see different as from other Domo debates, and I think I said this earlier in the program already, is Domo is used to banter. He is used to someone when like I said, Domo is rapid. Domo is sharp. He's witty. So his wit is very quick. And so he's used to going back and forth with someone. I think Scheme's laid back style was so laid back that it left Domo sounding like he was jabbering. You know
Right,
what I'm saying?
right,
He's
right.
so laid
Yeah,
back, it
yeah.
left him. It almost cost Scheme. You listen to the judges. It almost cost Scheme. They told Scheme, "Hey man, you basically let Domo dominate your interrogation." So
Okay,
it
right.
almost that style almost cost Scheme, and it's crazy. That shit is crazy because, like, I remember a debate I had with KOT that
Yep.
cost me points was I did to him what I tried to do to man. I'm sorry, I forgot my first debate, but I
Oh,
tried
you
to be
talking
very
about Madon
dominant.
Kemet. Madon Kemet, yeah.
Madon Kemet,
Madon,
right?
yeah, Madon
So
Kemet,
when
yeah.
we went into rapid fire, I was, I tried to do KOT the same way. They were like, "Oh man, you ain't gonna let me finish." He pointed that out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that cost me. So it's funny to see. I see in Scheme and Domo's debate the very opposite of that almost cost damn Scheme. You know,
Right, right, right.
but but what it did was it allowed think it allowed Domo to go on and it almost made it seem like as if he was jabbering, but I know
Right,
he
right.
was really saying some things. And secondly, it almost seemed like Scheme pointed out that he was filibustering, that he was burning
Right,
the
yeah.
time, that he wasn't, because those questions Scheme was asking him really were like shook questions. I'm gonna tell
Right.
you, it was, the whole, and I'm not gonna keep going over the whole source thing. I mean, you can see it in Domo's face. He was shook by the
Yeah,
question. He was like, "Yo,
he
you ain't even
was.
let me finish." Because it
Yep.
was a very intelligent. This is where Scheme gets you. This is where he gets you. This is where, like somebody say, if they said he Scooby Dooed his way through it or somewhere, I think I heard somebody say that he
Man,
Scooby Dooed his
that's
way through it. I think I heard Suave say that. Okay,
okay,
I don't
okay.
know. I don't want to put that in Suave mouth. I think someone said that. I believe. I could be wrong. Anyway, if that was being said, I say that in the most respectful fucking way, as like when Shaggy and Scooby Doo, which you do know they be in the back of the van burning. Them were the two stoners in the group. Figured out,
Right,
but they would figure out they would be the motherfuckers that solved the mystery.
right,
Those two
right.
motherfuckers. And that he didn't, you know what I'm saying? He didn't have this
Yeah,
long that he asked the right questions. And the right
right.
questions, he hit a nervous system that would send Domo off on a tangent. And the
Yes, yes,
final,
yes.
yeah, he asked the right questions. Oh, so you say that. Uh, Sources, this and that. And he's like, I got it. And he raised, hold on, let me ask the whole question because Domo was feeling pretty good about that. He was like, I
Right,
can tell
right.
you, hold on. You asked me. I'm going to tell you. And he said, hold on, let me ask the whole question. He was like, and how did they derive at that information and yada, yada, yada. So then he went to reading the Philly, that shit shook. That was a game changer.
Yeah,
I
yep,
felt
yep,
like if nothing
yep.
but if nothing but for pure entertainment value, but it was more than just pure entertainment value. I think it really spoke to some shit. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying? Like,
yes. Uh-huh.
hey, it really spoke to some shit.
All right,
Like
Yanga, we got
I felt like, yeah.
oh, we got Free Spirit joined us. Free Spirit got to unmute your mic, babe.
Hey y'all.
Hey,
Hey, Free
peace.
Spirit.
Yeah. Well, I agree with most of what you guys are saying here. It was an interesting debate. The first time I watched it, I have to say that I was like, "Oh, Domo got him." But then I also had to go back and rewatch it and just really understand what Scheme was saying. Scheme is very skilled, and I don't think anybody really thought that he was, but he
Hmm.
did kind of I won't say he Scooby Dooed his way to the playoffs, but he definitely was very, what's the word? He was stealth. He was very stealthy.
Yes,
It's like even though
yes,
people were like, "Oh, he's not a
Yes.
threat," he was still silently making his way through debates, making his way to the playoffs, winning playoff. And so now it's like now that he's kind of taken out Domo, it's kind of like, wait a minute, what just happened?
yes,
And now it's like I
yes,
think people need to be a little bit more understanding of what's going on. I think that this can happen again. I think that if
That's right.
he's underestimated, Scheme actually stands a huge chance of winning again. I think that if Lance is underestimated, he stands a chance of moving forward. I wouldn't be shocked if the finals ended up being Scheme versus Lance. That's all I'm gonna say.
yeah,
People
Wow.
really need to open their eyes and see what's going on and be on their game. If you're gonna tortoise and hare your way through this, you're gonna end up trying to catch up without realizing that you really have been beat and it's too late.
yes,
Wow.
yes. I would agree on that assessment. I think that is right and exact. And I said it, man. Go back. I hate to be an I told you so, but I told you so. I said it. I said it when when Scheme first came into my peripheral. Just I glanced that way, and I think it was the he and Suave debate. And Scheme came to my thing because I thought he was cool. I didn't think it was cool. I thought I'm not gonna tear off scabs and shit, but just some of the shit Suave did at that particular time just wasn't cool. And Skeen kind of held it. But I was also watching his style. I said, man, this is a guy you're gonna have to watch out for. What I saw, I agree with Free Spirit. I called it crafty. I like that laid back approach. I said Scheme is like, Scheme's one of them dudes that sit back on the couch. You know what I'm saying? When you chilling with the
Yeah.
homeboys and everybody's doing anything, he's the brother sitting back on the couch listening, laughing
Yep.
here, laughing there. He's also the Negro with the gun, though. You know what I'm saying? He's also the nigga with the pistol.
He is
Um,
a lot like me because when I'm actually amongst people and I don't really understand their vibe, I just kind of sit back. I'm very quiet. I'm always observing. When I'm super quiet, I'm usually listening. I'm usually analyzing. I'm usually picking up on energy, basically just trying to gain understanding of what exactly is around me at that time. Basically called I'm usually called the silent storm because you never know. I'm
um,
just sitting there, I'm quiet, people forget I'm in the room. So people tend to say a lot of
yes,
stuff. And so it's like,
yes,
I observe, I get that from skiing. And so I think that's how he's been able to make it as far as he has. And now people are starting to wake up like, wait a minute, intruder, intruder,
yeah,
sound the
yeah.
alarm.
Like whoa, right? Yeah, like whoa. Well, I know one thing he's done. He has definitely put on his neon vest, like those road workers. He definitely has his vest on now. He is not flying below radar. That was something to
That's
go
right.
down in the league. That's something definitely to put in his gun belt. He did something. Again, kudos to him. But yeah, I don't. You know what though? This Rio scheme debate is gonna be off the hook, especially now that I don't think anyone's really sleeping on scheme, and Rio has been a beast, so to speak. What's y'all take on that
That's right.
that matchup?
If Rio goes into this debate like he normally does with the preachiness, which by the way is what Domo attempted to try, he's done.
Mm-hmm.
He's done.
Hmm. Hmm. Interesting.
Wow. That's yeah.
Interesting. What do you think, son?
I'm gonna I'm gonna agree with Free Spirit. That old style scheme has disrupted the old way of doing things. So yeah, I agree wholeheartedly with Free Spirit. Yes.
It's going to be interesting. I have now since been silent on the player. All my predictions have gotten shot to hell. I still have to go back and watch the KOT out the blue debate because I'm still trying to figure that out. Like I said, all my predictions have been shot to hell, so I need to go back and see what happened. But man, one thing I will say, they promised to have a very, very turnt playoffs, and it has been that. It has been that. So Lance and
Swan.
Scheme,
But
quite
you
possibly.
know who we
For
have
Scheme's sake.
actually been forgetting about this whole conversation? KOT. That's another silent storm who just kind of
Yes.
lingers. He doesn't hit panels. He doesn't type in chats. He doesn't do anything. He observes. I think he sees a lot,
Yep.
but he doesn't say a whole lot. So he's another one that you probably need to be watching out for.
Yeah. Yes. 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 I'm gonna tell you, man. I guess I am gonna speak on it. I like KOT for it. I like KOT for it. I do. I like KOT for the. I like KOT for representing this at whoever battling out of Scheme and Rio.
I honestly
Yep.
feel like, and this is going to be far fetched, but I honestly think that the finals is going to include Lance, and I also think that he could possibly take it home. And I say that because he's very eccentric with his
Mhm.
thought process, with how he approaches information, how he researches. I think that he is a force to be reckoned with. And I think that because sometimes he may say things that people don't necessarily agree with or call it pseudo, they think he doesn't have a chance. But you have to take into consideration it's not necessarily the information that you present, it's what you can prove. So if a lot of this stuff that he's saying can actually be proven without a shadow of a doubt, laughing at him is fruitless because you're going to be laughing from the sidelines when he puts you out of the playoffs. So I really think
That's
that
real.
Lance has a huge chance of possibly winning the whole thing.
That's real. That is so
Yeah,
real.
yeah, 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 yeah. Now, yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree with Free Spirit, man. Like I said, because Free Spirit used to be a judge herself, so you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh man, I could agree. I could agree. But Lance is, and I'm gonna have to go, man. I got a couple more minutes. I got to shoot out of here.
Okay, okay.
But Lance is facing an uphill battle. I'm not gonna say uphill battle. I'm not gonna say that. Lance has a lot on his plate with because it is a lot of anytime you're presenting something that is almost totally foreign, you're
Mm,
tasked with the burden of not only proving it, introducing it, and then
right.
winning people over to at the very least accepting it as plausible. That's a lot in a debate. That's a lot in a debate. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like I really am a firm believer in it's gonna be how how well he simplifies it, how well it's explained as a theory. Because when we were talking on the phone, I'm damn the phone, talking on the live when he came on, I didn't quite get it. But then again, like Black Sun said, damn man, he couldn't even talk to the man because everybody want to over talk to damn man. So we got to get. I'm gonna have to do a show and get Lance back because I would like to hear more about that specifically. But I
Me
agree
too.
with you, Free Spirit, and I've said that. I think I said that in my interview on SVDL with Solo when he was interviewing the debaters. He asked me about the playoffs and asked me about people I thought, and I said Lance in particular. I said I think Lance is a strong debater. I think when you get Lance and his rebuttals and his rapid fire and shit like that, he goes into his bag.
Yeah,
So you're right. It's gonna be though this information he's bringing is so foreign, at least to me. I don't know about anyone else, but it's so huge, it's so large that I hope that he's able to make it digestible and
yeah, I agree.
create a connection. Yeah, yeah, because sometimes it's just I feel like that's what kind of happened to Domo a little bit. He just didn't make the
Right,
connection.
it
Know
was
what he
too
wanted
much.
to say. Right. You know what you wanted to say, but that doesn't count after a debate. If you're
No, it
not
doesn't.
able to encapsulate that within your premise and all the shit that you had, your rebuttals and your closing and shit after the debate don't mean a damn thing.
That's
and it's
right.
just a lot of information.
That's
You
right.
know. Listen, man, thank you for having me on, sir. Man, I always enjoy it. The
Man, thank you, Yanga. Thank you, Free
man.
Spirit. Man, thank y'all. Man,
Yeah,
this is
free
the
spirit.
best
It
way
was
to
good
close out the
building.
show. This is the best way to close out the show, man. I thank you, man. I thank you. Thank you again, Free Spirit. Thank you again,
You're
Yanga, man.
welcome.
Y'all said a lot
Yeah.
that I wanted to say, and thank y'all. Thank y'all. Because I don't, thank you.
Yeah, you good. Definitely, man. All right, man. We'll build. Give me a call, brother. All right, free spirit.
Okay.
It was a pleasure, man. It was good jumping on the panel with you. We'll talk again.
Absolutely. All right.
All
Bye,
right.
y'all.
All right.
Peace.
Bye, y'all. Peace. All right, y'all. We'll see y'all later. Peace.